I did not ask anyone. I did not climb on somebody else's back. Okay, I have the ability to help people. I have friends who are consultants. I come from Iran. I don't speak the local language.
Hello, my name is Mary Pierce, and today guest speaker is Setareh Raeisi. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Seti is a serialpreneur based here in Qatar, and today she's going to share her entrepreneurial experience and give us some advice and how to enter the Qatar market. Again, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Can you please tell us a little bit about your experience as serialpreneur and what inspired you to start your entrepreneurial journey?
I would say I was an engineer. I was just doing an 8 to 5 job as an engineer, and then I realized like I can do more, because when I was studying in the university, I did computer engineering. Okay, so for me, to work with computers, it was something really big, and writing algorithms, and to me this was like so big, and at that time it was new. So for me, working with computers was the place to be. But then eventually when I actually worked with computers, I'm like, no, I want to talk to people. I do find myself leading, I do find myself giving, teaching. And eventually, actually, my manager at that time, I was working in oil and gas industry. He realized this, and he pushed me into project management. So in a very short time, I think 2 years, I became a project manager for multi-million budget projects.
Wow.
In oil and gas industry. And I was lucky enough to be moved there. And I realized like I can do management. And that actually made me study and continue doing my master's. And after I did my master's, I realized here, okay, now I can do business.
Wow.
I understand I can have something for me. I can lead things. I can create things. And luckily enough, I lost my job after I finished my MBA. So apparently it was all planned this way, like, okay, so now you're ready. Universe told me, just go. This is yours. You can take it now. So I would say it just happened, and I was directed by God, I would say. And things went in the right way. They all worked because I was open to accept. And I did so many things. It wasn't only like companies. I started with products, slimming products. Then I partnered up with some of my friends in a restaurant, in a social media management company. And then eventually I made myself realize, okay, what do I really want? What do I really think can work here in Qatar? And then I moved. So it just happened very naturally, I would say. Yeah, I think that's it. I think, yeah.
I didn't know you had all of those prior businesses.
Yeah. It did happen very naturally. And I think that's why now, turning 40, I know really where I want to be and where I want to go, because everything took its time. I did not push for anything. I did not ask anyone. I did not climb on somebody else's back. There was no ladder for me. It was me realizing, learning, failing, going through it. I have very good friends. I cannot deny that I have good friends. My friends do support me, but still, I had to learn it myself.
That's so impressive. I think as an entrepreneur, you have to kind of go through all of these different journeys to figure it out what we really want, what works, what doesn't work. And especially, I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like the international entrepreneurship could be a little bit more complex, just because it's multicultural. It's just not my culture, your culture, and the country that you're in culture is like so many different expats from countries from all over the world. And so as you're building your entrepreneurial journey in a different country, you also have to kind of
adapt,
navigate, and adapt and learn that it's not how we used to do business in the country that we're from, but I think it's much more complex. So I applaud you for
luckily enough, I've been here more than my own country. So I know what works here more than what works in my country. I don't know if I would say lucky, because I do live here. To me, this is home.
Yeah.
And I know if you say, as an example, a word which means very good, maybe in Latin America or in Iran, it would be very offensive saying it here. So to me, the first thing I would look at whenever I try to do anything new, or I think of telling somebody what to open, where to focus, what to buy, what to sell, is culturally checking, will that actually work? Because so many things will work in America which will not work in Iran, which will not work with Muslims, which,
100%.
Localization of it is a very important factor to look at all the time.
Yeah. That's some of the things that I learned myself in my early entrepreneurial journey as coming here. And even though I had lived in the Middle East for 7 years, I wasn't business oriented. It was more like I was living there and I understand culture, but not the business side of the culture that I didn't, so many things that I didn't know and that I have to learn, but that's really, really good input. Can you tell us a little bit more about the businesses that you're currently doing?
Okay, so now, as we speak, I own a consultation company. It's a business consultation company. So we can guide you through what to do and what not to do, when to do, and how to do. So if you are new in the business, we can actually guide you on how to start and where to invest. If you've been there and you're trying to fix your things, you're trying to market, you're trying to resell, you're trying to rebrand, we can help you all over the journey with your business. And okay, so this is one of them. The second one is my medical center. Iranian Medical Center is a medical center. It's a basically polyclinic. We have so many specializations. We have gastro, we have eyes, we have heart. I'm just using the normal word so everybody understands. We have dermatologist, we have cosmetic, we have GP, we have urologist. We have all of these specialization, and the most important thing about my medical center is that everybody is from Iran. All of the doctors are from Iran, and I'm so proud of this. Having the name of Iranian Medical Center for me in Qatar is I don't know. I'm just so proud of it. The name of it for me is enough, because living in a Middle Eastern country and not having that bank behind you and supporting you all the time, you need to really, really take care of your image. You really need to take care of your pockets. You really need to make sure where your money is going and where your reputation is getting built and going, So I would say, working on all of the things that I mentioned, thank God, I have very strong belief in God, and I know that if God was not helping me through this, I couldn't get anywhere. My parents, I couldn't get anywhere. But then going back to the foundation of the things, I started thinking of things and catching it as it was in front of me. Like, if the opportunity came to me, I never said no. Like my consulting company, I thought, okay, I have the ability to help people. I have friends who are consultants. I know I have so much of connections. I have good network. So why wouldn't I do it?
Yes.
And then the medical center, it just happened in a way. It was again very natural. My dad had a surgery in Iran, and one of my followers, which is now one of my partners, helped me in Iran with getting appointments done and things which he really was in need to do urgently. And like, I didn't know people there. Unfortunately, when I go to Iran, I don't know much people. I have my extended family in Iran, but I needed urgent help with my dad's case. And thank God, everything went well. Like, he did his surgery, and then we became partners eventually. He came to Qatar, and we built everything from scratch together for the medical center. And another business which you are aware of what, it's a bit girly. it's hair extensions. So I thought everybody would ask me all the time about my hair, like, where do you do your hair? Like, what do you do for your hair? Are these extensions? And most of the times I had my natural hair and a little bit of extensions.
Yeah.
And I'm so into doing my hair every day.
Girly.
So yeah, very girly. And so I'm like, okay, fine, then why wouldn't I just do it? So I sourced it from different families who do sell their hair. So they're natural and there is nothing plastic or extra in them. Hygiene and clean and fully natural. I use them and then I'm like, okay, so I can give this to the market right now.
Yeah.
I really believe in feminism and how much your hair can actually help you as a woman.
Yeah, you make it
to feel
so
yeah, to really feel woman.
Yeah.
The energy is nice. Like every day you wake up, you see your hair is nice, and everybody deserves to look good.
Can you share with us what is important of social media and your personal brand as well here in Qatar and in general for network expansion?
Okay. There's a very little thing I didn't tell you about my journey when I was working in oil and gas. So working in oil and gas was very stressful, and it was very hard to be under pressure all the time and adapt and produce. And it was a multinational company. It was basically international company. So I would travel with them a lot, work elsewhere. My trainings were elsewhere. It wasn't like all the time in Qatar. So I ended up having high cholesterol for a while. And then, sorry, I'm getting a bit off topic, but this is, I think it's very important to know. And to me, it's just my personality. I felt like, okay, I can fix myself. Why I'm on pills all the time? I have to stop being on pills because I'm just too young for this. Like every time I go to the doctor and he's writing me a new prescription, he would say that the person in the pharmacy would tell me, why are you taking this? Is this for your brother, for your father, for your mother? I'm like, no, it's for me. And I would feel so ashamed of the status I am in. Like, why I have to take such pills?
Yeah.
And I am young. Long story short, I realized my food was wrong. I realized that I am not moving enough. Basically, it was a job in office all the time.
Yeah.
So 8 to 5 sitting, just munching on different snacks. Okay, so I'm like, okay, let me see what can I do. Let me learn how to eat healthy. So I started to take certificates. I got a certificate in health coaching, a certificate in fitness instructing. So this was basically the beginning of me realizing we need awareness. Middle Easterns, we like to eat a lot, and a lot of carbs is involved. Coming from Iran, a lot of rice is involved, a lot of oil is involved, a lot of red meat is involved. So for me to realize, okay, how can I be very moderate when it comes to my eating and turn everything into healthy eating, it was quite a big journey for me. And then I started affecting my family, my mom, basically because she is the queen of the kitchen, right? So I had to convince her, buy this, don't buy this, this is good, this is bad. And for a while, actually, she was kind of making fun of what I was eating. And then she realized eventually, oh, she's changing. Her body is changing, everything's changing, everything in her is changing. And then some of my friends around me told me, listen, you're doing great, teach people. So I'm like, that's amazing. Now I can actually go on social media and start to talk because I have something to give.
Yeah.
I can teach, I can guide, I can just tell people what did I learn and how did I change myself from something to something totally different.
Yeah.
And if somebody, like if whoever, like your followers, your viewers now or listeners, they go to my page, like the very beginning of my page, I was just talking about healthy eating, going to the gym, working out, and that's it. That was basically what I wanted to give. And thank God it did grow fast, because when I started, there was basically nobody was talking about healthy food. Everybody was into burgers and cupcakes here. So for me, I was like, no, I don't want to be like others. No, I want to teach people. I want to give them what they actually can benefit from. So that was the beginning. And what I made, the base that I made, was everybody coming from health and fitness industry. I collaborated with so many gyms, so many healthy foods, so many supplement shops. And then eventually, because I told you I opened another company which had to do with social media.
Yeah.
I go to clients, and clients, they say, okay, let us use you as a model. Like, why do we need a model? Oh, I like your style much better than such and such blogger. So I'm like, I think it's working. And again, I'm telling you, like, I saw the opportunity, I jumped in.
Yes, I love
Yeah,
that.
so I started to create content, and well, luckily brands noticed, and it grew. And it wasn't easy. It's still not easy. Adopting is not easy. Giving what people like to see is not easy. I come from Iran. I don't speak the local language, like by nature. Like at home we speak Farsi. I have to speak the language that they understand, and bear in mind that there are things they will not accept because this is the culture. And it was okay for me to do it because I kind of live here all my life. Okay, I've been out for studying, for working, but still I understand what looks good to them. So I try. This is just like a tip. Looking at your camera, this is the tip that you really need to consider. If you come to a country, do not think what you like. You want to sell, you have to look at what people will buy and will like. Forget about what you like. Think of what they will buy. Be like them, look like them, so you can actually succeed.
I love that.
So
yeah, I feel like social media here, you know, I mean, coming myself from obviously born and raised in Mexico, I lived in America now, and I do business here in the Middle East as well. Social media, when I go back to the US, it's not like when it is here, right? Here, for me, you know, I actually grow my social media thanks to all of you guys, meeting, you know, meeting like friends, and you know, she introducing me, and all of a sudden I was like in this circle. And I feel like obviously I'm not to your level right now, but you know, I know the importance of personal brand, social media, and then how much social media and personal brand impacts.
But I'm so grew actually in amongst very small network of people who would understand you, you know, because wherever you go, you will find a circle of people that is your circle. In a very short time, you found that circle and you built in that circle, which is important. You realize where you should be. So many people will take time to understand where they have to go and where they have to put their foot to start. But sure, okay, you got friends, they introduced you to people, but you actually were smart enough to start and connect and grow. Like you used the base correctly. Like you didn't just say, oh, okay, let's just have coffee with this guy, and I don't know, have dinner with this girl. No, you actually built on it.
I feel like for me was more of, I want to enter this circle, right? Because I knew what all of you guys were doing in different sectors with your personal brand. And I'm like, what can I do to enter? Because it's kind of hard, right? To just like, oh, can I go have coffee with you? And like, no, nobody's going to just give you their time just like that for the most part. So I always thought, what kind of value I can provide to them so that they can open up for me. So that's kind of how I enter. You know, I'm like, what can I do for them? How can I support them? How can I help them? So then they know I'm just not going to just there to take or to be a part of something extremely fun, because you know it is really fun too to be in the circle. But also like, what can I do as well? And I think through that I was able to together, and like I started, you know, doing hard work with them too, not just trying to enter for the fun. So I think it was great.
So it's very important tip. I just can read between the lines of what you're actually explaining here. To work on a niche that nobody else is working on, it's hard, but it's the best thing to do. I'll say, how did I do it for myself? I would proudly say I'm the only Iranian lady who or influencer who keeps saying, I am from Iran. I even built a brand on Iran, you know, like I am from Iran. Now you talk in Qatar and you ask who's the Iranian influencer.
Yeah.
I don't care if people label me even, but I can see that that's working for me. If it's working money, I'll do more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a while I was teaching Farsi. Why? Because I think it's working. It's adding to my network. It's attractive for people. People love to hear it. Why not?
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes because you would find yourself alone. It's not like others. You cannot copy, you cannot save and redo, but you can be unique all the time.
Yeah.
You will have lovers, you will have haters, you will have people who really cherish you, you will have people who will always say something in front of you and then be double-faced, and then but you're unique. It's you. Nobody else is like you. Nobody else can be Mary, nobody else can be Setareh, nobody, not at all.
Yeah.
Mexican, the only Mexican, the only lady working in real estate, the only lady teaching Farsi, the only, for a while, people like the girls. I'll tell you something about my hair extensions. For a while, I felt like my base of following is very manly and very male oriented. So like, I need to be closer to ladies. And I don't want to have lashes. I don't want to have makeup. No, I want to have something which people actually can relate and looks like me and get closer to ladies. So that's how I formulated where do I want to go with the product I'm giving to the market. Hair, close to ladies, the base will grow. I was doing it thinking on all of these factors.
Strategic.
Very strategic. But you know, it's hard to continue. So sometimes you have to actually park it. So for now, I would say I love that business, but it's a bit parked for me. It had its own objective and it's still helping me. For a while, people know me as the girl who has the hair extension. And now they know me, the girl who has the medical center.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's next.
I love how innovative you are.
Yeah.
You know, when you see an opportunity, you know, you grab it, and even though you don't have the answer right away, you know, you have the network, or you can access another network that it will help you to expand, right? I think that's very important, especially as a businesswoman in the Middle East region. Sometimes it's not as easy, and sometimes it's amazing. Like, it just depends of, you know, depends of your niche, or depends of the type of businesses. But I think the fact that you took every single opportunity that you felt called to, and then went for it, and then took the best out of that. Like you mentioned, the hair extensions, you knew exactly what you wanted, you knew exactly where it was going to lead you, and then you grow. You grow your following to more females
and
as well.
Again, I looked at the market. Do we have anyone who is selling hair extensions? Is there any influencer who is promoting hair? We didn't have anyone in Qatar. Like, nobody had it. We have salons who do create extensions and brands for extensions, and they sell, but there is no influencer who's selling hair extensions. Why wouldn't I do it? Everybody is into lashes. Why would I go do lashes? Why would I do eyeliners? No, I can be unique enough and create a product which nobody else is selling.
And I also, you know, the thing is, and I love that you mentioned that as well, because it is so much easier to go after a product or an innovation or something that is already in the market, that you know, like, hey, this is already there. I know it's gonna work, and I'm just gonna go for it and kind of copy and paste, versus you trying something, you know, new in the market. I mean, obviously the salons were selling it, but there was nobody branding, you know, the extensions here in Doha. So the fact that and that could also be scary, right? Entering something that nobody else is doing it. It's like, okay, is that gonna work? Is that not gonna work? So,
but again, you know, having the base really helps. Like, if you know you have all of the influencers around you, you know that you have a good network, you can be easily connected to such and such with, I don't know, just a phone call away. So you have to build everything step by step, being careful that you are building the right foundation. Like, you cannot jump. That's another tip. Like, you can't jump. There is no jump. Jumping, to me, is very wrong. Number one, because you might actually jump to the wrong space that is not yours and you're not ready for. Second, if you are always looking to jump, it might lead to disappointment. Because if you jump and you expect to be able to jump easily, you will break something. You will either break your head or you will lose your money because you did not go through what you had to go through. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. Some girls would say, okay, she had somebody to help her. Yeah, and there are so many girls in the market, especially the influencers, who come up with concepts that somebody did help them financially. Okay, it's possible, but if you are not like her, do not look at her. Do not expect to be like her. You can always build yourself. Start slowly, have smaller goals, and then slowly you can go to the next and next and next steps. And if there is no bank behind you, be your own bank. Like you build it.
I love that.
It will come.
Some point it will come.
Yeah.
For our last question, what kind of advice would you give entrepreneurs, international entrepreneurs that would like to enter the market here in the Middle East?
To begin with, they have to be really sure that the business or the concept that they want to start here works. So they need very good research here. They need to do their feasibility study, and they need to make sure they can survive. So two sides of the story, because it might look very beautiful elsewhere, it might work elsewhere, but when you bring the same thing and the same strategy and the same model here in Qatar, or even any other country, it might not work because of the cultural aspects, because of the basically population. You cannot expect the same thing which is working in, let's say, just Iran, a very, very close country to Qatar even. The traffic is high. You go to Saudi, you have a coffee shop. It might work easily without any advertisement, as an example, because it is located somewhere with very high traffic and very high footfall. But maybe you bring the same brand in Qatar and you don't do any sort of marketing for it, but you expect it to work the same. Of course, marketing is always important, even if you are in a very high footfall space. Still, you need to market for your business. But then you cannot expect it to work here. And I mentioned now, I'm just turning into the consultant role now. So you cannot expect the same magic to work everywhere. You have to really work on your feasibility study to be done exactly like real time. You cannot just expect things to change all of a sudden. You cannot convince people to change their culture. You cannot expect people to stay in your business. You cannot expect them to buy what you like. All of these factors, like really, as I said, forget about what you like, focus about what will sell. Because the moment you just forget about your own preferences, you will open this gray area which you did not see, maybe your partners even did not see. And so much of it has to do with trial and error. Do I have a space to give you an example? So I started with selling the hair extensions, and for me to meet more girls was to go to exhibitions, the ladies exhibitions, abaya exhibitions, the beauty exhibitions. I met so many girls, I'm so glad I did that. It was like to me, they would say, bring somebody to sell for you. I'm like, no, my objective is not to sell only. I am here to meet people. So in one of these exhibitions, I had some hair accessories next to the hair extensions. And then people started to ask me about the hair accessories. I'm like, these are not for sale. These are for just the decor. They look good. So I put them there, and they're like, and then a friend of mine was there. She's like, do not ever say that. You are adding to this collection and you're selling this. You're selling this. Guess what? I had, it was Ramadan coming after that exhibition. I had the highest level of sale on the accessories.
Wow.
The accessories sold much more than the hair extensions.
Wow.
Or they would sell together because it was very seasonal.
Yeah. I love it. I love that. I think like for us, the whole for a whole interview is how you saw an opportunity, and then you grabbed it and you were like, no, I'm not gonna do that, or oh, I'm not, that's not my, you know, that's not my niche, or that's not what I'm here and doing. It's just more of like, I love how you saw the opportunity and you went for it, and then you executed it and you exceeded it. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I hope you guys took a lot of notes. We will have her information here for the consulting in case you guys want to reach out and ask any additional questions. And thank you guys for watching. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.